Firstly, Happy New Year 2023 to all. Thank you for remaining with me, and special thanks to them who always inspire me to continue. Wish you all good luck and prosperity this year. In the last part, we saw Chu Qiao sat beside Xiao Jie, accompanying him as he downed cup after cup of wine. Xiao Jie talked by himself. I knew that he would rebel. Chu Qiao did not reply. She knew that at this moment he did not need any replies and only wanted her to listen on quietly. I waited for him many years and I held on to the hope that he would decide not to rebel in the end. Smiling in self-mockery, Xiao Jie downed a cup of wine before looking at Chu Qiao. Did you know? Since young, Xiao Lu was not as smart as me. He was inferior to me, both in terms of strategic planning and military strategy. The only thing he was better at than me was poetry. He said that when he grew up, he wanted to become a scholar whose name would be recognized all over the world and would find a scenic spot to open a school. He dreamed of penning a book about the entire West main continent. Growing, Xiao Jie was illuminated by the moonlight that poured into the room through the curtains. Quietly, he continued. Little did he know, the moment I became the crown prince, I already started to create a library at Anqing for him. Yet, due to Fuer's death, I lost the opportunity to tell him about it. His brows suddenly frowned together, and in the tone of his voice, one could hear immense hatred. He squeezed out the following words. Why must he rebel? The wine cup broke into two. The sharp jade piece pierced into his palm, and the crimson red blood spurted out, looking like crapable blossoms. Chu Qiao suddenly remembered how years ago, in this precise palace, with the backdrop of sycamore trees, a man wearing green was standing there peacefully and gently. He introduced himself. I am King Luo. At that moment, in the dust-covered corner of one's memory, time had reserved. As three young kids ran into this quiet and big palace, their laughter was like the summer breeze, shattering the thin fog that covered this forbidden palace and chasing away the darkness of politics in the palace. Where didn't we agree that today you would be my wife? Yesterday and the day before it was always him. Today it is my turn. I don't want to. Why? You must keep your promise. I don't want to. I will tell my father and marry you now. I don't want to. I don't want to. Ah, you. How can you bite others? Enough. The two of you should stop making a fuss. You should head to the study room for lesson. Brother Lu, the crown prince bullied me. What brother? You should address him as the uncle. Uncle, where is sick and was biting other people. I am going to look for a doctor and cannot go for lessons today. In the darkness of the night, the glory of the past faded into the deep creases of one's memories, leaving behind only a soft afterglow. In the cold rays of the moonlight, even with the sweltering heart of summer, one would get goosebumps as chills headed up through the spine, offering relief from the uncomfortable heat. Xiaoche had drunk too much, and his frail figure, shaky, walked out of the main door of Mihi residence, slowly disappearing into the background of sycamore trees and moonlight. Standing by the window, Chu Qiao looked on at him, leaving with only emptiness in her heart, feeling like an ice lake that had been cracked open. When it came to the feeling like an icy lake that had been cracked open, when it came to the struggling of power, the story had always been so cruel. If the other party did not die, one would never be at ease. It was akin to the relation between Yanbei and the Hui Empire. It was impossible to reconcile. She suddenly thought about Yan Xun and was reminded of how she felt when he killed Master Wu and the others. Perhaps the circumstances were different, but ultimately both conflicts arose out of a struggle of power. If Xiaoche felt sad about King Luo's death, would Yanshun feel regret out his actions that day? The roar of despair that one gave before her death blended in with the death cries of the Chihou army. The piercing sound weakened havoc in her mind as the skyscraper of power was constructed. Ultimately, only one would reach its pinnacle. Before that happened, thousands upon thousands would fail, becoming the stepping stones to that person's ascension. Beside the decks, there were a few droplets of clear liquid that did not give off any aroma of alcohol. It sparkled in the moon rays. There was a windmill that had been covered by the sand and dust. If you are free, lady, you can request for the servants to clean it up. In the autumn wind, the bell sound crisp and melodic. A calm voice echoed at the back of her head. Chu Qiao walked over and stretched out her hand to touch the bell, only to hear a wholesome as line that held the bell up snapped, and the ornament fell into the pond below, creating a splash followed by waves of ripples. Thank you so much for watching. Stay with me, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of the next part of the story. Thank you.